Setting the right piece and the right footing with a lot of these console makers has become more and more difficult nowadays. From the fiasco that was Microsoft with the Kinect and having the entire system be one inclusive area, to even PlayStation and Sony with their hacks. Nintendo's trying to find the right footing, but we're kind of lost in this vague space of where it wants to be in the future with what it has currently, and still trying to revisit the past. It's trying to find a blend between HD graphics and processing while offering the right type of gaming and software. So this balancing act is more of a dance between what is invested on and what needs more attention to. So where the money's gonna go towards and what it should really be going towards. So Nintendo, after delays of Zelda, we see ourselves that Nintendo's pushing forward with a new idea, a new prospect, and particularly finding the right footing with its new platform, the NX. NX now has been rumored to be a hybrid mobile platform system that utilizes an online cloud-based service, which seems like a lot to say, but it doesn't just seem to have a concrete being. Nintendo's really trying hard to find its way in the next set for the next generation. So, ever since their investment call in April 27th, they've been really trying to aim for that, pushing back Zelda's release date now to March 2017, at the same time as that being the kind of tentative release date for now the NX. It's looking like now we're pushing forward the idea of a new software with its launch to the device. But that's to say that Zelda hasn't been making enough headway. In the past couple of units that has been sold with Zelda and the different variations from the 3DS, even to anything that's transferred over to the Wii U, we see that it hasn't sold as much as Mario has, like Mario U, even Mario Maker, as well as Super Smash as being one of those largest sellers for the past couple of years. But why is that? The software concrete to the actual hardware, it's become more and more difficult for them. It seems that as each generation grows, it's really a brand new one. So right now we're seeing that we might be looking into a new PS4, a Xbox 1.5, where the processing unit is being changed, but not really the shell. Nintendo's trying to find a way to balance everything else out, from its motion sensor to its dual screen, just to appeal to its common core gamer, but as well as try to bring in some of the hardcore gamers that have been giving Nintendo a run for their money, saying that it's not hardcore enough. It's really in the dabble between what are first-person shooters, MMOs that apply to a new system. Things that we've already seen like COD, Smite, even Halo. So now we're asking ourselves from a hardcore perspective, and NX is trying to fill everyone's void, which kind of seems like it's too much to swallow. As the rumor mills turn and turn and turn about the NX model, we see that architecture is going to definitely change. The implementation of actually a cloud-based service might even help it out, because we're getting left with a vague understanding of what any of this means. We're seeing that perhaps we shouldn't even have our hopes up, and this is a problem with the PR aspect and the marketing aspect. Ever since the April 27th investment call, we're kind of left with just wondering what it should be, what it will become, and how it will influence any of us as gamers and even consumers in general. We're left to vaguely think about, well, if it's not coming during the holidays, why come in March? Usually, Nintendo has always released their items during the early spring, so it's not to say it's uncommon. But to not have a true core presence to E3 this year in 2016, that is where it's going to get very interesting. Everyone at Nintendo has said they're going to focus on software and predominantly going to focus on Zelda, which is great to say, but even if we're delaying it another year, why even care? It seems too crowded when it becomes Microsoft and Sony offering a new 4K processing, a new 4K gaming, though there is a need of refreshing. So we're kind of left in this vague need for something new and fresh, and that's probably why Nintendo's trying to hold back and push forward with something new and refreshing. We're looking at things like games like Fox McCloud, and the last Fox game we had. Not really well received, but it wasn't too bad. But when you look at the entire catalog, we haven't yet seen a Samus game to come out, or any Metro Prime type of legacy game to come out ever since the first Wii. Now, what happens when you start becoming a large conglomerate that has a lot of catalogs and IPs that really would offer gamers something new and refreshing? Characters to follow through with them. Well, You can see a lot of investment towards the software aspect, and then there's sometimes you could just drop the ball and maybe move forward with something else and cut everything in half. And that's the problem that we're going to start seeing with Nintendo. Like Microsoft, and trying to make sure everyone understood what's going on with the Kinect and how it would operate and become user friendly, we see now that Nintendo is trying to play that tightrope. And that's going to become very, very dangerous. The only reason why is because as much as the standard sales of which we use were really dismal the past couple of years, what leap do they have from here on out? It's kind of a weird parallel between Nintendo and Apple. After losing Steve Jobs, where else can they go forward in innovation and offering a new experience to all their users? We're really going to start seeing some of that go on in Nintendo, and really hope that it becomes something greater. With it, all of its IP, from Mario to Zelda, Samus to Fox, everything seems to have the enough foundation, but even third-party games become something different. At the business and the core and the corporation aspect of it, you have to find new sources of revenue. And as much as we're moving forward with more downloadable, on-demand, through online streaming opportunities, we see that Nintendo might be entering that realm and might enter a full-blown. The idea of actually developing a software-based cloud system to allow gamers to pick up the games and play wherever and whenever they want, well, that seems like a neat idea. But how will hardware and software finally balance itself and connect itself together? I think Nintendo's asking themselves, even with that, with pushing forward games through the mobile platform systems like Android or Google Play and iOS. Well, there's still more opportunity. Streaming even through PC, allowing some of the older IPs to be delivered to PCs directly through stream. Nintendo has to find a way that becomes more financially stable and create a new revenue source to please, obviously, their shareholders, but allow for the software developers and the hardware developers to really offer themselves in a new light. And we might as well sit back and see if Nintendo will be willing to do what Nintendo has always done, offer a new way to play. So, what do you think? What do you think we were waiting to see? Are we already sagging into the status quo of gaming through Microsoft and Sony's offerings? Or are we willing to think differently with Nintendo come next year? E3 is around the corner, so let me hear your thoughts. Go ahead and put your thoughts and comments, questions down in the comment box. Keep yourself always connected with us here at 16 Bits, and we'll see you next time.